Hello everyone, how's it going? Dr. Incompetent here, and let's resume our complete beginner's guide to Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup with the Minotaur Berserker. I mean, at this point, I don't know if it's beginners. I mean, it's beginners in the way that I'm discussing it, but this is very far into the game, which is great. We're still alive, and we're going for our third rune in the vaults. So let's creep down to vaults 4. And, oh, okay, so look at this. An interdimensional caravan has stopped on this level and set up a bazaar. Hurry and find its entrance before they move on. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I found a bazaar earlier that was not it was an interdimensional caravan, but it was not timed. But this one appears to be. So maybe you can just find now fixed bazaars that are one-time use, but they won't go away. And that way you should probably save up your money before you go in. But we ended up benefiting from it anyway. So, I'm going to read a scroll of magic mapping. I have 6 of them, alright? And what you can do with a mapping scroll is identify where the interdimensional bazaar is. And it's right over here in the water, it appears. There's a staircase up. There's the yellow square, which is the branch, and then there is a staircase down. So we need to make our way up and around through to here. We could even go up and try to find a staircase down that gets us closer to this. Actually, let's do that. Let's see if we can find the staircase from up here that would take us right to the bazaar. And this isn't it, so let's go down again. And we found it. And there's an artifact ring. So this is just like absolutely outrageous. So there's a artifact ring sitting here that is, well, it's not very good. It's good if you're a spellcaster who does ice magic, but it'll like make our ice stronger, give us cold resistance, make us vulnerable to fire, and give us 9 magic points. That's not going to displace what we have. I'm going to go in the bazaar. How much cash do I have, actually? I have almost 1,000, so I do have a good amount of money. And to be honest, it's timed, so I have to go in if I don't want to lose it anyway. So let's see what we've got. Map this out. And, okay, there is a armor emporium, a closed shop, and a weapon shop and a scroll shop. Fantastic. So sometimes when you come into these bazaars... Oh, there's even more shops, but they're closed. No water in the fountain. Shop is closed. Oh! And look, they even have a general store. This is quite a big bazaar. I like it. So, when you come in here, sometimes the shops are closed, and to my understanding, they're just always closed. It's not like you missed it or something. And they're never opening up. I mean, I don't know how they get business for these things anyway, but let's see what we've got. Now, remember, what I always like to do in the bazaar is look at everything that they have first before you buy anything, so that you can not, like, you don't want to spend your money in the first shop, then find something better in the next shop. So just kind of mark what you think is interesting. Now, this chainmail is funny. It's plus 10 chainmail, which is very strong. Stronger than our plate, actually, probably, when it all is said and done. Except for the GDR, but the armor class is great. Resist electricity, good. Strength -4, terrible. 6 dex, don't need it. -3 strength, terrible, and lets you stealth and heavy armor, which is not really a benefit. So, you know, it's fun to see, but it's not good. And nothing else here jumps out to me as being an improvement for our character, so we move on. Trog will no longer gift us weapons, by the way, and you'll see that you lose piety just walking around and not fighting. Like, Trog wants you killing stuff. So if you aren't, then, you know, Trog gets bored. But we'll get it back. So I'm going to check the weapon shop first, not like it's a big rush. And here's a War Axe of Distortion, which is hilarious brand. Now, you don't see that too often. And it's got some good resist, but then it has -5 strength, which is bad. And it's only +1. And Distortion, let me show you. Actually, wrong button. Let me go ahead and examine it. So distortion says it warps and distorts space around it and may blink, banish, or inflict extra damage upon those it strikes. So that part of the brand is usually pretty decent. Like, if you banish something to the abyss, it's so good. It feels so great to do that. Because unless they're a named enemy, they're gone for pretty much ever, as far as I understand it. They're not, you're never going to see them again. Named elites, though, if you do banish them to the abyss, they will hang around there. They will wait, and you can encounter them again. It could also inflict a bunch of damage, which is cool, but then it also blinks things away from us, which we just generally don't want to have happen. Like, we want to fight close to the enemy, so blinking them away might be bad. And then also, the real kicker is that if you unwield it, it can cause banishment or high damage. So the problem is, like, if we need to switch because we see a Hydra or something, we could get banished to the abyss just from taking it off. So, or it could hit us for a bunch of damage. Both bad things. And it gives you -5 strength, so interesting, but just not worthy of consideration. Let's check the scrolls. So we get some good stuff here. Silence, identify, fear. Okay. We don't need to identify. Torment, it would be cool to identify it, but I'm not going to spend 97 gold on it. When we find a scroll that's unID'd, we'll use identify on it, and we'll figure out what it is. We're not going to be using Torment anyway. I guess I could mark... I mean, Scroll of Fear is the only thing that seems super interesting. Let's just check what's over here. Wow. There's a condenser vein. I'm going to buy the condenser vein. The Morning Star is pretty beefy, but we can't afford it. That would actually be almost like, do I switch over to maces? But it does have -3 strength and some weird stuff going on. But it's a big weapon. It's not a huge upgrade from what we've got, but it's big. I am going to buy this. Yes. It's the last... Oh, he put it outside because we don't have enough space. It's the last evocable that we want. I mean, what do I want to drop? There's a really good chance I'm not going to use a lot of this stuff. But at the same time... You know. I only need to drop one thing. I don't see myself needing to drink potions of Berserk Rage. Oh, I didn't drop it. I keep pushing enter on what I want to drop, and that's not how you do that. Alright, there we go. And then I will buy, just because you can never come back, let's buy some stuff. I don't need an enchant weapon, unless I want to enchant my fire blade, which isn't the worst idea, but I'd rather save up for something else that could be fun. And I'll buy this Scroll of Fear. Everything else we're good with. So, you know, not the most exciting, but Condenser Vein can be insane. Yes, ignore it. Always ignore that ring. And there's a Vault Sentinel. And he's probably going to try to mark us, but we killed him. Guy blasting us. We're just throwing rocks at things. Remember, we're still training our throwing, which is... Our throwing is insane. Look at it. 10.5 throwing. We still got our manual. As soon as the manual kicks out, we stop doing that. But for now, it's good. Resist Potion is actually pretty good. Identify Scroll is useless. We have about 2 things left to identify, I think. Something like that. Alright, some Orcs. Let's just fight them one-on-one in our little hallway of fun here. I got a great sword. I mean, it's not nothing. Trolls. Preserver. I love that the Preserver keeps coming to fight me first and not standing behind the enemies. It's very helpful of it. Alright. Ring of Ice. Orb of Eyes. Don't look at me. Peacekeeper and Gargoyle. Okay. Gargoyle can be nasty, but luckily, bam, 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 got it. Sphinx. Okay, so Sphinx can hex you pretty severely. Paralyze, confuse, slow, all bad, but the real danger of the Sphinx is when you get a bunch and they smite you, or they're far away. They could smite you for a ton of damage, and anything that can smite is always scary because it evades armor class, and it, I'm going to use Trog's Hand on that wizard. It has the smite targeting, so they can hit you when you can't hit them. It's really devious. Necromancer. Oh, got me from further away than I was expecting there. By the way, we don't... Yeah, we just got hit by some... was that Torment? Racked with pain. Yeah. It was either pain or torment, but either way... Clearing level map. Oops, wrong thing to do. I didn't mean to do that. Getting hit like that was a huge punch. And the problem is we just don't have resist negative energy. So it's going to always be a thing that we need to watch out for. And most specifically, it's going to be a thing when we step down into Vaults 5. Oh, okay, what you got? Oh, look at all these giants. I see a ring. Anything else over here? Boy, this isn't even a door. This is we have to go. Oh, it's so bad. What do you got? What are you all about, Ghost? Red Bomber is a Merfolkian porcupine. Right. Nah, I don't think so. We could take out most of that stuff, but the electricity and that ghost, for a file of floods, which is okay, we do kind of probably want that at some point, but nah. We'd be trying to, like, hit a home run on that ring and just hope it's, like, tremendous, but it's highly unlikely. Let's fight these elephants. There's a file of floods for free. Alright. Time to drop more stuff. I'm going to drop this. Well, here's our resist negative energy right here, right? I guess I'm going to drop in the potions of invisibility. I just don't think that it's going to help us to have that right now. We're too noisy to make use of that. Tentacled Mon. We're not trying to be sneaky. It can sometimes help you escape, but I don't see that happening for us enough. Trog gave us a weapon, and it's a hand axe. Uh-oh. Trog's hand. It's anti-magic, though. Alright. Whoa, our throwing is 14.4. Gross. Wonder if I can set my manual. Doot. Nah, I don't have it there. Okay, I'm gonna run around. Oh, here we go. Oh boy. We found the mother lode. Yep, doors are locked. I'm gonna just Trog's hand, and we're just gonna work through these dudes. Stop shooting through the doorway, it's rude. You know it's rude. Oh. There we go. That wasn't the ideal position. This is much better. Okay. Look at that. What was the, ring mail of fire resistance? No, there was a tower shield. Was it good? +2. Yeah. Bunch of trolls. Ooh, lots of them. All right. We got to kill the gargoyle really quickly. All right, so the preserver is soaking up the damage, which annoying. Let's just regenerate. Making it harder, but not really that hard for us. Honestly, like, things like this is why this character, for the most part, does okay in the vaults, because it's just beefy stuff. And we can deal with beefy stuff. Now, all this buffed stuff is something I'm less interested in taking down. But we can do it if we have to. How did you get buffed? I guess you guys buffed each other, huh? I don't like it. Alright, we gotta watch out for this guy. He could spank us pretty hard with that weapon. Okay. What's this sword? Just +1? Alright. Get out of here. Crank out the slimes. Not a concern. Alright. We did it. That's Vaults 4. Now, everybody, comes the insanity. So let's find the best staircase we can for Vaults 5. It cannot be a one-way staircase. No, thank you. There really isn't a great one, is there? This one's probably the best, because it provides some access to a corridor. So here's what we're going to use. All right. So look at me. I have no resist electricity, and I have no resist negative energy. This amulet gives me both, but it does make me vulnerable to cold. I'm going to put it on. I'm not pumped about it. The problem with putting this on is that if I want to take it off, I will lose faith, but that's not really that big of a deal. So I say yes. We get more faith now, which is kind of fun, but really all we're trying to do is just get some resist. Now, I lost resistance to cold, so that's unfortunate, and I love resistance to fire, but we don't have it. This is all we've got. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to flip on Trog's hand, and I'm going to step down now. And this is Vaults 5. Oh god, there's a Zot trap right there. That's not ideal. Okay. There's also a warden up there, which could be diabolically difficult for us. So we have to watch that. The warden could close the staircase, and it's probably the worst thing we could see right here, or one of them. When you come down into Vaults 5, it always looks like this. It's a bunch of staircases, which are the only ways up and down, in this central spot that leads diagonally into 4 chambers, and you're surrounded by vault guards. There are other enemies that are going to start adding on, and everything is going to converge on us, and it can be incredibly difficult to survive. I'm going to wait one turn. You can see the warden has already closed the door on us. So I'm going to use Brothers in Arms, and I've summoned a 2-headed Berserk Ogre, and I'm going to have to just fight through this enough so that we can try to kill the warden and escape, because he is locking the door. Alright, we killed some of it, and I don't want to go berserk yet. I'm going to quaff a heal wounds potion. Oh, I got hit harder, though. What was that? Oh, from the glaive. Okay. Alright, the door's open. We got to go up and not die. Okay, we almost died. Alright, so that's how hard that was, because the door was closed. But we finally got the guy, and I'm going to blink away immediately. I have 4 scrolls of blinking. I cannot stand right there and fight these guys. I'm going to blink to up here. And then I'm going to kind of go over here behind this door, and we'll just walk away for a moment. Just regenerating health. I'm going to use Trog's hand again. And this is going to be our last stand. We're fine, actually. We have potions, all kinds of stuff we can use, and we will. I'm going to go ahead and evoke Lightning Rod. 1. 2. Just going to fight. We can fight 2 at a time right now, and that's so much better than getting hit from every side. Step down and clean them out. The vault guards by themselves are not that hard. Not worried at all. Everything else, terrifying. Alright? So, that's phase 1. And this is what you're doing for Vaults 5. You're kind of stair dancing as much as you can, the top part, without dying. If that other Vault Warden that we saw down there closes the door, we are in bad shape. So I'm going to preemptively, because I know he's there, I'm going to quaff a potion of might. I have a bunch of these. I'm also going to quaff a potion of haste, and I'm going to use Trog's Hand. I'm severely buffed. I'm going down, and I'm going to take 1 step off the stairs and kill this guy immediately so we can escape. And kill the rest. Okay, so let me rest after that. And this is the insanity of Vaults 5. I hope you're understanding just how crazy this actually is. Now, you'll see we came up this other staircase, and I do want to go back to my initial staircase that I was using, this one. And this is kind of what you have to do. You have to buff up considerably and go down. Now, I'm not going to be as buffed as I was before because I took care of the primary objective there, which is to immediately burn down the warder that was there and closing the doors. Okay, so let's go down again and see what we've got. Now, what I like to do at this point is take inventory, and to be honest, so far we're pretty fortunate with what we see. So every Vaults 5, well, Zot 5 is another story that we'll get to later. Every Vaults 5 is, of course, different. You're going to have this exact same configuration of staircases. You're always going to be surrounded by those vault guards. And beyond that, it's kind of random, well, it's entirely random, what other enemies will spill out of these adjacent cubes in the northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast that we can only see just a little bit of with these silver walls coming out. A lot of the enemies that you'll see here are already represented. We've got Yaktars, high-level elf, casters, dragons. We have the Quicksilver Dragon there. Of course, Vault Guards, Vault Wardens, Sentinels, all of that stuff. And a Hydra is here. The main things that you're really, really looking for is to be sure that there's no tentacled monstrosities which can prevent you from stair dancing. There's no dragons that will rampage you off the stairs. There's no wardens that will close the stairs. There's no one that will blink you or teleport you. Things like that. Your first objective, at least mine, is to be sure that I can leave reasonably. Sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes things get really, really dire and you have to bail. But if you can avoid doing something like that, you want to, because I've had situations before, successful most of the time, but sometimes not, where the center becomes so congested and the stairs are no longer an option and you have to do some kind of miracle play where you like read a teleport scroll and end up somewhere else in the vault and try to survive. And you can, but the difficulty is these staircases that you see right now are the only way out unless there's a hatch somewhere, but that's not very likely. You cannot go up anywhere else but here. So if you lose control of this territory, it is very difficult to get it back, and you have to kind of pray and chip away. So we have a Hydra, we have some Elves. Let me look at these guys. We've got a Priest and a Sorcerer. What's his kit? Alright, he's got Banishment, but luckily we've used Trog's Hand, so we're immune to it. He can haste himself. Corrosive Bolt is a ton of damage that this guy wants to sling at us, but we could bounce that back. Damnation is a AoE. We cannot bounce that back, and it does a ridiculous amount of damage. It's always a scary spell. And the Priest has Smiting, which of course we don't want to see. He can also call down Damnation. And he can summon guys and radiate an aura of brilliance. And then we have this Pyromancer who could summon elementals, which he already has, fire flames at us. And remember, we don't have resist fire and cold, so we might either have to wear the Scarf of Resistance or quaff a potion of resistance, something like that. But for the time being, I'm just going to go back up the steps. You see, everybody gets a shot at me, and we switch axes to the flaming axe and just... Oh, it's not a Hydra. Okay, then switch back to this. It's a shapeshifter. Alright, we'll kill it. And it's going to rest back up to full. So now, what you do here, at least my strategy, is you try to keep that clear, and you try to stair dance, and you take inventory of what's around so you know what you need to do to prepare going back down, because of course everything is going to get a free attack on you. That can. So, you got to be ready for it. And we also want to avoid making a lot of noise on the stairwell, because we don't want to attract every other thing that's on Vaults 5. There's some really, really hard enemies there. Shadow Dragons. Titans. Just terrifying things that we really don't want to see. So, I mean, if we do see them, we want to see them later, when it's like one at a time kind of thing. With shelter, we're not just standing in the open by these stairs. It's not an ideal fighting spot. We have an axe, so we can cleave, which has helped us tremendously, but we're going to go carefully. I'm going to be using Trog's Hand every single time. And I could quaff a resistance potion here, but I think I'm okay. If we get the Quicksilver Dragon, we'll have to reevaluate. Alright, we go down, and look, we got treated. We did get the Quicksilver Dragon. We got blasted by the Yaktar Captain. And we hear a shout ×6, which is bad. There was a deafening roar, which is something big. And so now lots of things know we are here. And there is a Sentinel that has crept onto the screen, which is also not good, because he's going to try to mark us. So we need to run out, okay, and fight the Quicksilver Dragon. One-on-one. And we got it. Left some scales for us if we want, which we don't. But, you know, it's a fun piece of armor that's lighter than normal, so it's good if you're a caster. Not great for us. Honestly, it's only a drop in 4 armor class. It's pretty sick. Alright. Hand again, and let's go down. Okay. I really want to take this Sentinel up. Oh, great. That was so lucky, in my opinion. He didn't mark us. Like I said, what you really, really want to avoid is attracting anything else to that central point, if you can. Sometimes you have a spellcaster who just nukes everything, and you don't even care at that point. So it's fine. You have these big noisy spells, but they hit everything and you're okay. But with this character, we'd prefer not to do that. We are strong, of course, but what can be exploited right here is the fact that everything can hit us from range, and we can't get it and kill it as easily. And then if we get tormented or other things happen, it just gets really ugly. So I'm going to hand again. You see our piety dropped. Yep, there's some damnation for us. Damnation is that kind of red pulsing effect you saw with the clouds. We got blasted. Hell Knight coming on the screen. Okay. So I could read a Scroll of Silence. It wouldn't hit everything, but it would prevent these guys who are next to me from casting spells. That's interesting. Alright, I could also evoke something. If I wanted, I could Condenser Vein, and I'm going to do that. Alright, so I did Condenser Vein. Condenser Vein is incredibly powerful. Okay, so what it has done here is blasted everything on the screen with an AoE of negative energy, which is actually pretty good for us. So things that aren't good against negative energy are going to start getting ripped apart. I'm going to hit the elf, we killed him, hit this other elf, kill him, hit the priest, and I'm going to actually stay on the screen for a moment. The necromancer is coming, but we're okay. There's a necromancer from up on the top. And by the way, this is one of those points where the Zot Trap, you also want to keep things away from that, because that could wreck us if things step on that. So you want to keep your eyeballs on the Zot Trap, make sure there's nothing over there, and you also look in the bottom right and look at your enemy list and just keep track of what enemies are there. Sometimes visually, just looking at the screen, not everything is clear, especially with all these clouds, and there's going to be just loot piles and bodies everywhere. I use that to just make sure there's not some threat that I'm missing. Alright, I'm going to hit the High Priest and try to kill it. We did. There is a Pyromancer who's walked onto the screen. The Yaktar Captain, which I really want to kill, is eventually stepping off of... He's trying to get out of the cloud. What does this guy have? He has a Great Mace of Flaming. Okay, good. As long as he doesn't have anything like... It would have told me if he had some kind of distortion brand, but we're good. Now, what do I feel like doing? I'd love to kill that Yaktar Captain so he doesn't just shoot us every single time. But I think I want to kill the Hell Knight. Okay, Marjorie is here. Fun. And a Deep Elf Demonologist. So we're getting more stuff coming onto the screen, which is not ideal. But Marjorie is stepping into the pain, so that's good. So we just kind of take it turn by turn. We killed the Hell Knight. Skeleton is on us, but skeletons are just not a problem at all. Let's just see what Marjorie is all about. She can fireball us and do bolt of fire, so she has a ton of fire, and she has her big trident, so we probably want some fire resistance. I'm going to quaff resistance. Like that. To try to deal with Marjorie. And I'm also going to hit her with my File of Floods. So this should engulf her. It did. So she can't cast while she's engulfed. At least I don't think she can. Most things can't. So that is hurting her. The Demonologist is in the negative energy, which is pretty good. But we do want to watch out for... Banishment's all he's got. He's going to make demons. Okay, he can't just outright torment us, which is good. But the demons he summons could have some abilities like that. There's more enemies on the screen now than are being displayed. If you see ... over here in the corner, that means there's even more. So now you're going to have to, like, just take inventory yourself. There's a Storm Dragon skeleton that's been animated that's coming. And that's not that awful, to be honest. I'm just fighting a little bit here on the steps. And I do want to just use my Wand of Acid to kill the Necromancer if I can. Alright, he's dead. Now there's so many demons on the screen, and most specifically there is a Ice Fiend which torments. I'm leaving. I didn't kill the Necromancer. I didn't kill Marjorie, but everything with the purple orb that's on it is temporary, and I don't want to fight all of these temporary demons that guy's had a chance to summon. So I'm going to leave and just rest. Those things won't be there when we go back down. They'll have to resummon it. I'm just going to wait a while, wait a few turns, and just let them time out. Go back to Trog's hand. And do I want to drink Resistance again? I'll wait to see if Marjorie comes over, I suppose. But it might be a good idea. I need to ensure that I'm going to be engaged with Marjorie before I do it. Okay, this is good. I'm going to go up. And we got the Necromancer and the Freezing Wraith. So that's a little bit that we can chip away at. And I'm going to Trog's hand again, go down. And alright, we got to get out of here because of these dragons. Unfortunately, they won't follow us up the steps. I just don't want them to knock me off the staircase. Certain undead will not come up the steps, so it's got to deal with that. Okay. Trog's hand again, go back down. Alright, so now we're getting better. I'm going to just hit, and okay, I'm really happy with this. I get 2 of them, and we'll just take care of these guys easily. And rest. And I'm going to just eventually hope that Marjorie will come. She has a reach weapon, so she's going to be a little bit trickier. And we got the Hell Knight. I'll take him up. Gonna have to do it just really methodically like this. What you hope for... Oh, yep, there they go. They finally knocked us off the steps. I mean, that's what dragons do. And I'm going to go over here, actually. Oh, that's not what we wanted at all. Okay. Good, we got Marjorie up the steps. Okay. I'm going to quaff resistance. And I'm just going to go berserk and just kill Marjorie. Alright, we got level 21. And which means you get to put a bunch of points in strength. Marjorie's not dead, by the way. We go 37 strength, and we'll just keep hitting her. And eventually, we'll kill Marjorie and just breathe a sigh of relief. And Marjorie has a huge Demon Trident of Pain. Fire Dragon Scale Armor. Which, honestly, if you look at these, they're pretty good. Base armor rating 8. But our armor class would actually go down even more than the Steam Dragon scales. But it does give you fire resistance. Alright. So I feel a little bit better, but things are always dangerous here. Let's see what we've got now. Honestly, we're getting there. This is what you're praying for. It's just enough of this cleared out so that things have calmed down. So that you can start chipping away at these smaller squares on in each corner of the Vaults 5 and have a good escape method without worrying about this being congested. I'm going to throw a rock at this guy. Yep, kill him. I'm going to throw a rock at you. I don't care. Okay, I'm just going to keep throwing a rock at that guy. He's dead. And this is unfortunately a warden, which I don't want to see. He's closed the door, so we have to keep throwing rocks at him, and you killed him. Because, oh, actually, yep, I forgot. Okay, I made a mistake and trained throwing way higher than I need to, so I'm going to turn on fighting, axes, armor, and shields, and probably just leave these here forever. You could go evocations if you want, but I like all of these abilities right now. Now, I will say, I trained throwing higher than I needed to or wanted to, but it's not a big deal because you see how throwing is just helping me tremendously right here. I don't have to move. I can stay on the stairwell and just kill these guys with just rocks. So it's very, very good. But when you get down to Vaults 5, if you're able to survive it, it's a ton of experience. So be sure your skills are set accordingly so that you can scoop up the experience that you want. It's not a waste to have that throwing, and it'll come in handy when we need to contend with orbs of fire. And if I do Control F, for example, and I look for javelins, I have the 3 silvers, and there's 3 regular javelins just sitting around I could go get. But I can also search for throw and look for anything else that I might want. Boomerangs or darts. Some of these darts are insane. Cure darts are quite good. Any enemies that can be affected by some of the higher poison darts, like Cure darts, you can just totally nullify enemies with those. So we can start looking for good throwing things. Even nets can be useful if we need to run away. Alright, so look at that. I see no enemies, which means we can start wandering around. Now, I'm going to go this way. Yep. And some guys. I'm just going away from the Zot Trap. I'm going to start throwing rocks at people and just kind of bringing guys over. Oh, there's a Titan and a Fire Giant. Both bad for us. The Titan is noisy, and he does electricity damage, but I do believe we have resist electricity. He's still really hard, but it'll be easier for us. I'm going to just take him up the steps, actually, because we have resist electricity. That's why I felt it was so important. And sometimes, and there's another Titan, you know, I made it a priority to get resist negative energy as well. Sometimes you don't need it, but it's usually extremely important to have something like that. I'm going to take these gentlemen up the steps here. Yep, there was some negative energy. It just flew through us. And we came through a escape hatch. I'm just going to go berserk and kill those 2 big boys. And go back to my favorite staircase over here. Look at this death pile. Eventually, you can start to search through all the treasure and see if you found anything good. But the real good stuff lies within these squares. These squares in each corner of the Vaults 5 are like filled with so much treasure, it's obscene. You'll get really, really good stuff, usually. So I'm going to go just contend with this guy. Oh, there's a Storm Dragon. Okay, so I'm going to Trog's Hand. And I'm going to bring these guys up the steps and go berserk. Storm Dragon, just as a FYI, I'm fighting it against a wall. If it shoots electricity, anything that does electricity, if you're against a wall, especially if you're against these ridiculous metal walls in the vault, the electricity can reflect and bounce back and do even more damage. So you can all of a sudden, like, get annihilated. So you got to be careful of that. That's why I was just like, I'm just going to go berserk. Like, I don't even care. What can you do to me? You can you can paralyze me, I guess. Alright, we got to kill this Vault Sentinel immediately. Did we kill it? Yes. Okay, good. And there is a Stone Giant, which is not good. He's going to be just throwing rocks at us for however long he wants to. I'm going to quickly turn on regeneration. There is a Deep Elf Death Mage here who, you know, wants to do things like Vampiric Draining and Bolt of Draining and all kinds of nasties. So let's kill this guy. And I'm going to go up steps. I don't want to get hit with rocks anymore while I kill these dudes. Got him. Beautiful. Honestly. Stone Giant down there. Our shield and hit points should make us... Oh, we got to kill the Basilisk. Okay, we got it. You know what I keep forgetting? How I killed that Basilisk and how I killed that Vault Sentinel so fast. It confused me for a moment, but then I remembered. It's my Rampage. I close the distance, and I get a free hit on enemies that are right there. You see? I just charged into that guy. Oh, Eye of Devastation Shapeshifter. Okay. We really want that guy to change his shape. I don't want him to be Eye of Devastation right now. Okay, good. Water Nymph is great. Please be a Water Nymph. Death Drake is also not good. You'll notice that one of the most devious things about shapeshifters is if you don't kill them in a form and then they shift, they refill their hit points. It's just so brutal. I'm going to take this Etten up the steps, by the way. These big boys hit for a ton, so just kill them. They're even worse than two-headed ogres. They're like ultra strong nightmare dudes. Okay, I'm going to do it again. And just get on this Tengu Reaver. Tengus are just really hard for some reason. Like, they... when you play as them, they're frail, but when you fight against them, they have all these spells, they're evasive, you know, just not great. Alright. I think things are going decently. I'm going to look around. Okay, we're starting to see some treasure over here. Another thing I like to do is, instead of, like, if I were to continue to go down that path diagonally, I would work my way into the vault, but sometimes what I like to do is just check out the perimeter. There's a path that goes north, south, east, and west, and then around the edge that is outside of the squares. And I like to just make sure that these are clear and then go inside a square if I want. It just makes sure that you don't get ambushed from guys that are chilling out here. There's usually not that many guys chilling out here, to be perfectly honest with you. Alright, he's dead. Another Zot trap. Alright, that's not great. And this Phantasmal Warrior, please fight me. Okay, life force restored. And, yep, this is the top. And this is the top edge of the map. Okay, so what I'm going to do is walk around counterclockwise. It's a Sphinx. I'm just going to walk up and blast. The nice thing also, about some of these is usually, not all the time, alright, but generally, there's not that many enemies out here. So you can just kind of take them out in small groups. Whereas if you go in there, there's going to be a few things, sometimes a lot, and it can be difficult. But I'm not going to go into corners. I'm just going to walk around the perimeter, okay, and map this out. Here's a magical staff. If I was into that, I'm not. Kill that guy. And the Warden is great to see here. There's nothing for him to lock for us, but there is the Shadow Dragon and the Quicksilver Dragon. So like I said, dragons abound and negative energy abound, right? So let's go ahead and blast this guy, and we're going to just close in. All right, and this is a little bit more enemies than I wanted to see, but we should be okay. Iron Dragon, we're getting a lot of stuff here. Okay? I prefer to not go berserk, so I won't yet. Alright, we got a bunch of it dead. I'm going to kill the Etten. Iron Dragon is hitting us hard. Okay, we got him. Tengu is over there. I'm going to step back from that corner. We were pulling out a lot of the hard guys from inside that square, which I generally like to, like I said, avoid doing for now. I'm going to use... I'm going to recover a bit. And, okay, we got the Tengu, and we got the Ogre. I'm going to go back this way, and I'm just going to walk away from that fight scene and go over here by the Sphinx and just rest. Usually you can rest outside in these hallways, which is why I like to have them clear as well. And we got our hit points back. Magnificent. Okay, I'm back after a little rest there, and let's resume cleaning out the vaults. So, you can see on the minimap that below me in this giant black mass is an unexplored section of the vault. And like I said, there are 4 of these kind of squares. And inside any one of these 4 sections could be the Rune. There's a lot of treasure, and there's hard monsters. You don't really know which one it's going to be, so I recommend just exploring them bit by bit. I also, though, before I go in, I'm going to back out. We need to take out this Shadow Dragon, and I want to clear the perimeter as much as possible to give myself options for escape. It'll be super useful to us to do that, even if we have to bail with a teleport. If we have the perimeter cleared, there's a good chance that we teleport into an area that we can find a safe route to escape from. And that's really, really important here, because one of the things that makes this so hard is not only the the difficulty of the enemies, which is significant, but just the way in and out of the floor. All right, so we're going to fight a big old shadow dragon, and I'm just going to step into it. You can see that basically what it does is it does a bolt of draining, which does a ton of negative energy damage to us. Now, luckily, we do have 1 pip of resist negative energy, which mitigates that significantly. He hit it right there with us. He does drain us, which means we've just lost 5 max HP. But once we kill this guy, we got 2 of those max HP back. He's dead. We'll rest up. I didn't have to go berserk and was able to fight him just by himself. So I'm going to go back. Oh, and we found ourselves a Storm Dragon. Storm Dragon, again, difficult, but we do have that resist electricity pip. We're away from the wall as much as we can be right now. So we killed it, and he dropped his scales. I'm going to go back and just rest up. And an ogre wants to come in. I'm just going to throw stones at him, kill him, and rest up. Oh, we found a whole bunch of people. Okay. But of course, by people, I mean just denizens of the vaults. But these are these are like low-level dudes for us. It's a warg, you know, it's an orc warrior, and it's been buffed by the knight, so it's a little bit trickier than normal, but not much. Love to see stuff like that at this point. Easy, guys. It's like, oh, okay, great, thank you. All right, so we're going to keep trying to go down here. And honestly, having people come out there is great because it makes the interior of these squares even easier. I'm just going to continue to walk along the outside and give myself options. Okay, there's a Deep Elf High Priest and a Frost Giant. Okay, so that's nasty. So I'm going to go ahead and immediately regenerate and get our will up from Trog's Hand. You see that we don't have Resist Fire or Cold at the moment. I could pop a resist potion, but I don't think I need it. I think I could kill this dude fast enough, and we did. And we'll kill that guy. Stone Giant coming on. By the way, I'm being moronical. I had forgotten that because I changed my amulet, all right, to give me the negative energy and electricity resistance, I need to change my shield to reflection. I'll do that after this guy. It's a little too late, but now we'll do that. I'm going to go back and rest. And then I'm going to go to wield, and we're going to just wield our reflection shield up again. Our shield skill will actually drop, unfortunately. We get a cool picture, a green shield with a starburst. But you'll see that we got the reflect pip back on, and that's just huge for us to be able to do that. It's just extra damage at range. It's great. So I'm going to have that going. I don't think I have anything tremendous. Nah. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to keep walking. And I'm going to go around the outside before I take the interior path up. Here's a death mage. Step into him. Blast him away. We hit him for 4 exclamation points there with our infused attack. Just absolutely devastated him. This guy wants to shoot us with a crossbow. You can see, good thing I switched back to the reflect. We're bouncing him back. Here comes a Yaktar Captain, which, again, we bounced back and nearly killed the guy with. So we're outranging, you know, some of the most deadly ranged creatures in the game right there with our reflection and stones. Shadow Dragon, let's just fight him one-on-one in this corridor. And again, that's why I'm going to throw a rock at this guy and bring him down. That's why you fight in the corridors first when you can in the vaults, once you've cleared that central area, just to kind of thin the herd a little bit and create safe alleys for yourself. Alright, and we found ourselves a potion that we don't know what it is, so let's drop something. We're going to drop our tower shield, regular one, and just pick this up. I'm going to read Identify on the potion, and it's Cancellation. Cancellation is a beautiful potion. It has some very, very good uses at this point in the game. Oh, and we got marked. And this is why I like to map out the exterior of these squares for this exact reason. We've been marked. They're by a Zot trap, by the way, which is also bad. We need to bail. We need to abandon ship as soon as possible because everything in the entire place is about to come after us. Unless, why not show off our Potion of Cancellation? It's not going to be a game ender at this point. I should have used it immediately, but I'm going to show you guys. If I drink this Potion of Cancellation, it's going to take away the mark. So most stuff knows where we are at this point, but a lot of it doesn't. And that's going to help us clean this portion out. And now we're in between some really not fun things. So I'm going to read a scroll of fog to make it so that it's harder for the Titan to see us. I need to go into the Titan to kill him immediately. And we're fighting a bunch of guys that are doing magical damage against us. And there's a Dread Lich, actually, which is quite bad. So the Dread Lich can paralyze us, turn invisible, haste himself, and summon a demon. We're not happy to see that. We're still regenerating. Trog's Hand is still going. But this is a place where we might want to consider... the Dread Lich has hasted itself. We might need to consider teleporting or blinking to get away. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drink a potion of haste. And I'm going to run toward this guy, kill him. Yep, he summoned a Tormentor, which is really, really awful. I'm going to run, run, run. The Tormentor moves pretty fast. He moves fast, unfortunately, the Dread Lich, because he's hasted himself. But if he stopped to cast a spell, I think we'll outpace him. Because we canceled the mark, nothing else is coming, and this gives us the opportunity to go back up the steps and just catch our breath. And that's huge. We've removed the drain, we've removed the mark with cancellation. That's one of the key uses of cancellation, by the way, is taking off a mark, taking off a petrification. It is a very, very good potion for those uses. And now that the mark is gone, we can go back down. The tentacle monstrosity still wants to come find us. It did not forget where we were, which is fine. We just killed it with rocks. But again, because we had cleared out the exterior and given ourselves a kind of long path to escape from, we made it. All right, I don't want to fight near that Zot trap. I'm going to move off it. I'm going to see if the Dread Lich has followed us down to the outside. I don't know if he did or not. But that's definitely an enemy that I want to fight one-on-one, if possible. And, yep, here he is. All right, somebody step down, and I'm going to Trog's Hand myself, and I'm going to just fight this guy right here. And he summoned an Executioner. The main thing that we're worried about is the demons he summons are incredibly tough. So, we need to kill him. Once we kill him, his demons do disappear that he has summoned, which is great. And we'll just kind of rest up. All right, so that's a very hard enemy. But with our will save, we eliminate his ability to paralyze us, which is great. And we've gotten through it. And there's just a scroll of acquirement just sitting there. And Trog has gifted us a +8 War Axe, Artifact War Axe that has Vorpal and Will. It's not as good as the axe that we currently have, even though because the broad axe does more base damage, and our axe also has resist corrosion and strength and stuff on it. But still, that's cool. That's a great, just nice little gift from our buddy Trog. And here's a potion of curing that we want. So we're just kind of sifting through the spoils. Let's read the acquirement and see what's going on here. Okay. So unfortunately, this cloak is terrifying, except it does give 2 pips of resist fire, which might actually somehow make it worth it against orbs of fire. I mean, it's so perverse to think that. I'm going to push escape and look at my current cloak. It's just resist poison. Yeah, I'm actually going to take that. The gold is very tempting, but this cloak is like a deal breaker. Not a deal breaker, but it's like a hard counter to most of the damage from orbs of fire. They're still really, really dangerous with 2 pips of resist fire, but this would only give us 3. It would subtract about 5 from our armor class overall. The 2, the bonus from the cloak, the bonus we get from our armor skill, but it would give us some strength and resist fire. Contaminate sucks, but you know, I'm going to take it anyway, just in case we need something like that. We can't carry it right now. I got to drop something, and I'm going to drop the Amulet of Reflection. I think at this point, I need resist electricity and negative energy so much for the future content that I'm just going to... Actually, I'm going to pitch my... Yeah, I'll pitch my Amulet of Reflection for now and just pick up this cloak. I'm not going to wear it until later because I don't need it right now. I'm not going to go into that from there. I don't want to be near that Zot trap. I just don't like it. I'm going to go down here, and we're going to circle around. We've cleared this out, and I'm going to just walk through and make sure that this is all the way clear. There's another Tremor Stones, which we don't want, and there's another Dreadlich, which is bad. All right, I got to kill this guy right away, but you see, he did a bunch of fire damage, and, you know, we just don't have the fire resistance that we need. There's a Hell Sentinel, which is incredibly difficult, but we killed the guy that summoned it first, so it's almost like with a Dreadlich, because our will is so high to immune to paralyze, that the summons are actually more dangerous than he is. It's not entirely true, but it's a lot true. All right, now we can start picking into these corridors and see what's in here. I'm actually going to just start auto-exploring. I don't want that Tremor Stone. I'm going to drop one. Okay, and I'm going to keep auto-exploring. It's going to actually, unfortunately, auto-explore is going to want to pick up all of these rocks and the gold and stuff for us, and that's okay for now. There is a big axe there, and there's a Sentinel. All right, so let's go fight the Sentinel. Hopefully he doesn't mark us immediately. He didn't, and I'm going to rest. I'm not going to use auto-explore then. It's going to take me too long. And I'm going to go in here. Oh, fine. I am going to... I don't want to use it, but the reason I am using auto-explore is because I don't want to accidentally walk too much and kill myself. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go here, and... Actually, no. I'm going to turn off... I no longer want to pick up... Tremor Stones. Oops. I no longer want to pick up Tremor Stones, Files of Floods, Phantom Mirrors, Lightning Rods, Condenser Veins, or Box of Beasts, really. I have all of these. I'm good with them. Okay. Now let's go. And we got javelins. We have 11 silver javelins, which is going to be money against the Orbs of Fire. Oh, what are those gloves? Oh, they're Fencer's gloves. They give you Riposte, which is a sword user skill normally only. But I have my special infusion gloves, so I'm going to keep with those. And that is potentially the rune. Let's see if it actually is. It's not. So that was a Zot Mimic. That is something that can happen to you. It'll look like the rune, and it's not the rune. That's why I said it's potentially a rune. It was a trick. We'll find it eventually. Ooh, we got a bunch of money. This is cool. Look at our cash reserves, by the way. We're up to like 1,800 money. Is there anything on our shopping list? Manual of Dodging. Maybe. Might go get that. Boost up our dodging. Alright, and here we go. Here's a Scroll of Teleport. Here's an Artifact Morning Star, which is actually really good. A bunch of other artifact weapons. Here's an Artifact Halberd. A helmet that we can't wear. Spellbooks we can't use. So you can start to see the treasure piles in this place are significant. This could be the rune, and it actually is. We got the silver rune. We have 3 runes, everybody. So we're going to clear out the rest of this, make sure there's no treasure that really is awesome for us. Oh, there's a weapon shop. That's interesting. Is that really there? Yep. And there's a couple, there's a few artifacts here, actually. None of them are good for us, but interesting stuff to see. And we're just going to keep exploring. Iron Dragon is left. Kill that. Explore, explore. And, oh, okay. Scroll of Brand Weapon, some regular plate mail. Scroll of Fear. And we're good. Awesome. Let's just kind of map out this. There's a Sphinx. Let's just blast it. And that's it. That is it, everybody. I'm going to shift go to the dungeon floor 15. And we made it. We are done with the vaults, and we have 3 runes. The Decaying Rune from the swamp, the Serpentine Rune from the Snake Pit, and the Silver Rune from the vaults. And we're ready to go try and make a run to some even more dangerous parts of the game. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. We're doing it. This character is rocking and rolling. And let's see if we can take out the Depths and Zot's lair. Take care, everybody.